Chapter 27. Wrath rules him. You are in danger. Sam sat straight up in bed. Her heart pounded, her head throbbed. She panted and couldn't catch her breath. Blood was everywhere. Bodies piled on top of each other. Smoke filled the room. As the smoke cleared, Sam realized she lay in bed, her alarm clock blaring. She felt awful. It took a few minutes to clear the fog and remember where she was and what was going on. Her dream felt so real that she shook from the cold of it. Or was she really cold? Sam's brain clouded so heavily she couldn't even remember how to stop the incessant beeping coming from her clock. Once the clock stopped, Sam realized she shivered, and she shook violently. She must have a fever. She remembered lying on the concrete singing "I Believe I Can Fly" to Dustin Drake as he walked away and left her to rot in the sun. Sam managed to hobble back to the gym just in time for the end of practice. She quickly put on her warm-up pants to cover her bloody t-shirt wrapped leg and threw on a random shirt that had been a resident in the bottom of her gym locker for only God knew how long. She'd gone to the bathroom to check on the status of her leg. Most of the bleeding had stopped, so she took off her makeshift tourniquet and threw her bloody t-shirt back in her locker. She should probably take it home so maybe her mom could get some of the blood out of it, but she didn't feel like answering any questions. She tried to clean out her leg after she showered, but it really hurt. So she just went to bed and dreamed about bodies being blown to bits all around her. People lying on the ground with their eyes gaped open in the stare of death. The faces, she knew them. Brandon Holliday, his rich, dark chocolate eyes lifeless on a cold, slippery floor of blood. Sam shook her head to snap the two real images from her brain, but doing so made her nauseous. Wrath rules him. You are in real danger. Ellen stood at the end of her bed. Her mouth moved, but Sam couldn't make out exactly what she said. The whir in her ears rushed loudly, like ocean waves in a conch shell. I can't understand you, Ellen. What are you saying? Sam tried asking, but what really came out was, Mom! Her fever is 102. Her mom's worried face hovered somewhere above her. Can you get a substitute and take her to Dr. Sweet? Dad's voice. Let me go call right now. Can you get the girls fed and JT to daycare? Mom again. The next thing Sam registered in her conscience was a cool rag on the back of her neck and some force trying to make her sit up. She shook from the cold and only wanted to pull the covers up tighter. Sit up, Sammy baby, and drink this. Her father perched on the bed in front of her with a cup of orange liquid. After Sam drank it, she remembered the bitter aftertaste and sting on her throat of fever medicine. She began to cough and thought she'd throw it right back up, but her mother followed quickly with small sips of water. Sam wanted to drink and drink. She felt the cool liquid flow down her throat, behind her heart, into the pit of her stomach. Then her father gently resting her back against the soft pillows, tucking the covers tightly under her chin. Sam didn't know how long she slept, but a loud beep in her ear aroused her. She felt slightly better. Good. Your fever's down to 100. Can you tell me what feels bad? Her father's worried face focused intently on his daughter and gently brushed the stray curls from her face, trying in vain to tuck them behind her ears. Where's Mom? Her dad chuckled. I won't do. Sam wanted to reply that he was okay, but she just didn't feel like talking. Dr. Sweet can see you first thing. I'm going to take you so Mom can get things squared away for her sub, and then I can go to work. Things can run for a little while without me. My leg, Sam sputtered. She felt the bombs in her dreams had taken out more than just Brandon Holiday. Her dad jerked back the covers a little too quickly, and Sam began to shiver uncontrollably. "Oh, Sammy," he gasped, and before she even knew exactly what happened, she precariously perched in his truck, headed to the pediatrician's office. "I didn't put a bra on." Her dad patted her hand. She leaned across the truck and put her head on his shoulder. He held her hand all the way to the hospital. Hospital? Wait, why were they pulling into the hospital? The next thing Sam knew, her dad carried her into the ER. Visiting this place was becoming way too much of a habit, and it had to stop. He sat her down in a chair and said, "Sit here, I'll be right back." Where else was she going to go? Suddenly a violent shiver racked her whole body, and a wave of nausea too. Was she going to be sick right here on the floor? She looked around briefly, thinking she would spy a trash can, but the movement of her head made things worse. She even thought she saw Dustin Drake hiding in a dark corner, blending into the institutional green paint of the ER walls. And she tried to turn her head again to see if he really lurked there or simply existed as another one of her hallucinations. She really did get sick. All over the ER floor. Things moved pretty rapidly from there. Sam's hand burned like she had disturbed a nest of fire ants. A metal pole next to her clanked and beeped as a nurse busily worked. Sam traced the tubes from the bag on the pole all the way back down to her own hand. Oh, she realized they'd started an IV, and needles and people floated all around her. She thought she might be sick again, and she guessed she said aloud because her dad hovered right beside her with a pan, and more needles jabbed and tubes jabbed. Time must have passed because the next thing in Sam's awareness became her mom's voice and the sound of crying. Sam opened her eyes and saw Sweet, Dr. Sweet. What a perfect name for a pediatrician, standing at the end of the bed. Her mother was wrapped in her father's arms, her head on his shoulder, tears streaming down her face. She mumbled something about not taking good care of her, should have watched more closely, shouldn't have let her go to school, shouldn't have this, shouldn't have that. Mom. Sam wanted her mom to stop crying. Like a horse on Derby Day, her mother shot out of her dad's arms and knelt beside Sam, as if she magically transported herself there. "How do you feel?" Lisa Flynn made her most valiant effort at a bright, comforting smile, and Sam appreciated it. "What's going on?" Sam wanted to know. "Samantha." Dr. Sweet was so stinking sweet, her voice soft and reassuring. "Your leg is seriously infected and you're very sick. We don't want the infection to get into your bloodstream. Dr. Sampson is going to take you to surgery and wash out your wound, and you're going to be in the hospital for several days on antibiotics." Am I going to lose my leg? It may have been a silly question, but how ironic would that be? Sam's vision helped prevent Natalie from losing her life, but she had almost lost her leg. Now Sam was going to lose her leg because she hadn't had enough sense to save herself? No, Sam. Dr. Sweet's breath smelled like green Jolly Ranchers. "You're going to be just fine. Sometimes wounds get infected no matter how well we take care of them." Dr. Sweet patted her mother on the back and gave her a sweet, Dr. Sweet smile. "There is no telling what you cut your leg on, and your antibiotic just didn't cover whatever cooties got in there." Cooties. I love that word, cooties. Sam giggled. Had she just said that word out loud? Sam's laughter eased the tension of all the adults in the room. smiling down at her. And then she giggled again. Dad? Sam had no idea what she was about to say because words came out along with a blob of drool. Sam snorted when she laughed this time and tried to wipe her chin, but couldn't quite find it. All the adults laughed, and her mother quickly grabbed a Kleenex and took care of the situation. Sam, now Dr. Sweet's breath smelled like a red Jolly Rancher. They've given you some medicine to help you relax. They're taking you to surgery soon. You just go to sleep and you will be better before you know it. Okay. Sam sighed and let her heavy eyelids droop. You're gonna be fine, honey. Her father's breath. Coffee. An Old Spice? His hands felt like warm, fine sandpaper, exfoliating her cheek. I love you, baby. Her mother's breath. Coca-Cola and baby powder. Her lips, soft satin, cooling her hot brow. Sam mumbled something and felt very loved as she drifted away. The next time she opened her eyes, bright, too bright, white light all around her. She blinked and blinked, trying to bring everything into focus, but everything glowed so bright. Was this the blinding light people talked about? Did she need to walk into it? Or was she supposed to stay? Fear didn't grip her. She knew Jesus, but she felt the pain of loss, the pain of not being with her family. That didn't sound like heaven. Jesus? Sam said to a figure hovering over her. Not the last time I checked. A sarcastic tone, a deep, cool, dry, familiar voice. Sam blinked again and Dustin Drake came somewhere into focus. Dustin? Sam felt delighted and confused. They're gonna cut off my leg. Sam felt the drool as she said it and giggled again. I mean, cut on my leg. Even though Dustin's face didn't quite focus, Sam could see the worry on it. It's because you almost let me bleed to death yesterday. And she laughed wildly at her really funny joke. But Dustin didn't laugh at all. No, seriously, did your mom OD or something? Where did that come from? Probably not the best question for her to ask. She was being really rude. Where were her manners? Why couldn't she control what was coming out of her mouth? Yeah, was his small, very soft answer. Really? Sam tried to sit up so she could see him better, but her whole body felt like cement. I'm so sorry. Is she dead? No. She is too mean to die. That's gotta really suck. She sounds horrible. I guess that's why you almost let a lady bleed to death. You know, 10 years ago, I would have kicked your butt in kickball. 10 years ago, you did kick my butt in kickball. Then both the kids laughed. I haven't seen you smile like that in 10 years. I am so sorry I quit being your friend. I really did like you. Thank you for never letting me win and always letting me play, even though I was a girl. That should have made us BFS for life. Sam could hear herself slurring her words, and she giggled again. I really did like you, and you have the most beautiful voice. Please come sing for me at church. Please do not start singing again. At that moment, the adults walked back in behind the curtain and froze at the sight of the strange young man talking to Samantha. Mr. Flynn made a move to quickly come between Dustin and his daughter when Sam squealed, "Rock! This is my friend Dustin. He has the most beautiful voice. He's gonna come sing for us at church on Sunday." "She is so high," Dustin addressed, to no one in particular. "Totally." Rock and Mr. Flynn laughed at the same time. "I can't stop talking. I never talk," Sam chimed in. And they all laughed some more. "Sam, I came to pray with you and your mom and dad before you go into surgery." "Can you pray for Dustin's mom too? She's a meth head." Awkward moment. "Yeah, I need to go check on her." And just like that, Dustin Drake vanished. "I believe I can fly. I believe I can touch the sky." Sam began to sing. "Yes, honey, you can touch the sky. Let's quit singing so Rock can pray for us." Her mother patted her. Her dad held her tightly. Rock blessed her completely. Ellen snuggled up beside her, and Sam drifted off into blissful sleep.